on Gabriel Speaks, and today we're going to talk about the opioid crisis. And I'm going to ask Lynn to give her views on what is transpiring today in our country, in our communities, in our homes. She's got some very clear personal insights.
Well, the personal insights come from the fact that I was and am addicted to painkillers. I had an automobile accident way back in 1991 and a series of nearly 10 surgeries following that, including within the last few years a bilateral mastectomy. So I have been given painkillers, oxycodone to be specific, ad infinitum. I was just given them and by the hundreds and told them take as needed. Now, it's been my understanding that at the beginning of when opioids first came out, they sold a bill of goods to the doctors saying that they found a new thing that was as good as morphine, but that wasn't addictive, and it was to use opioids. Meanwhile, several years later, here we are in the throes of a mass opioid crisis, where the doctors have had to crack down so much because people have abused them, and I myself abused them unknowingly. I didn't know I couldn't take. When it says take as needed, I took as needed, and sometimes it was very difficult to distinguish between pain and anxiety, which produced the pain. So I would take them for anxiety, and I finally ended up taking more than I should, more than was prescribed. And my daughter noticed that too much of my life was revolving around, do I have those pain pills? Will I have enough? If I go on vacation, how do I get them? Because they're a controlled substance.
My wife as a junkie.
Kind of, really kind of. It's an addiction that I'm fighting right now. I went into, my daughter insisted that I go into detox, which I did, which was a horrible experience. I will for sure be clean from opiates because I don't want to go through that again.
She almost died.
I'm going to be graphic here. I was vomiting and aspirated and ended up with damaged lungs in ICU for 2 or 3 days, for 3 days actually, and fever and anyway, it's not something I want to live through again. So I'm in a program now which is called IOP. What does it stand for? It's an outpatient. It's an outpatient program that I go to 3 days a week with other people who have substance abuse problems. And I have slipped a couple of times. So what I have done is, it's not that I still don't have the pain, but I don't want the pills around so I can take them just because I have anxiety, because they do help with anxiety. I gave them to my husband and told him hide them, and if I'm not in a great deal of pain, don't give me one. The thing is now that the pendulum has swung the other way so that people who really do have pain have a difficult time getting them. And it's ruined so many lives. My own life became just about making sure that I had my pain pills. And that was all day, every day. And if we were on a trip someplace, I'd have to come back soon because I couldn't be without them. And my husband has been very supportive. My family has been very supportive because it sneaks up on you. It was an addiction that snuck up on me. I didn't know I was an addict. I just thought I was just taking pills as they were prescribed, and then I was taking more than they were prescribed. Because that's what felt good.
But key was that you had family support.
Key. Without support, without the support of my family, I would never have been able to come through the crisis and to get rid of the addiction. I still have cravings from time to time, but I have the safety of my husband who's holding on to the pills, and they tell me that it's only been a couple of months, they tell me that it takes from 3 to 6 months for the cravings to subside. I don't take any other medication to help with that. There are other medications that are given to people who are addicted to opiates to help them with the cravings and to help them through the difficult times while they're trying to get clean. And I never thought I'd be using those kind of phrases, those kind of expressions to describe myself, but I really do give high kudos to my husband, to my daughter, to my son, and to people around me who have been so understanding, because I haven't always been myself, or who knows, maybe I'm more myself since I'm not taking them. But it's a pernicious addiction, and it's a pernicious societal situation. And doctors are finally waking up to it. I don't know how they're going to find the fine balance, because as I said, they've swung the other way, and people who really do need them for pain have to jump through hoops. You take some sort of pain pill, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And you're able to take it as prescribed.
As prescribed. I don't fool around with it, that's for sure. And I hope that parents that may be listening will have a keen awareness to help them with their children.
Yeah, your child goes in for a broken arm. Your teenager goes in for a broken arm. And if he's taking pills, within 8 days he can be an addict, or she can be an addict. If he's taking pain pills, within just a short time they can be addicted.
No, but parents should talk about this issue with their kids, because there's so much peer pressure out there, and people try all kinds. When I was in the hospital a year or two ago, I was given ketamine. I never heard of ketamine before. I went out of my mind. Come to find out, they told me that this is the drug of choice of young people. And a lot of people are taking ketamine. So I think that as parents and grandparents and godparents, as the church, people should make kids aware of the dangers of addiction.
Good communication and a good family support system, keeping the lines open with one another and with your young adults is first and foremost the most important thing that you can do to ward off these kinds of addictions when they as I said, they sneak up on you. I never started out to be an addict. I just wanted relief from my pain. And again, I can't say how important the support system is. And there's a community support system. There are so many. Of course, you see on television, there's all sorts of advertisements for places to go for rehab, and they're quite costly. Most of them don't take insurance, but if they do take insurance, and you need them, don't hesitate to call, because they're doing wonderful things, and they do help. Besides the family, the community support is very important, and there are lots of organizations and help meets out there for anyone who's suffering, or anyone who thinks they may be suffering, or if you're on the road and you want to, put the skids on, stop yourself, catch it all. I don't know if I've been more difficult They say that once you get off of them, once you get clean, your personality changes. Has my personality changed?
You've always been a little bit crazy anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Along that line, Father Anthony, what struggles did you have when it came to Lynn's addiction? What were your feelings? What were your thoughts? What advice could you give to spouses who have a spouse that may have similar problems?
To get educated, to find out what your wife is doing, what she's taking, and to try your best to put the brakes on and get help. One should never be afraid of getting help. I know that when she was taking these pills, there was times that she was not herself. And it's hard on the family. It's very hard.
How did you deal with that?
Up front.
He confronted me several times, but since I've been clean, since I've been off of them, his support and understanding he's been extraordinarily patient. I haven't had the old energy. You know what? Opiates make you feel good. And that's why they're addictive. They make you feel good. They make you feel like you're on top of the world. And so I've slowed down a lot since I'm not taking them. I've got to find my center again. I've got to find out who I am instead of, I was just kind of pinballing. You know what a pinball goes from place to place? I would just go here and bonk off there. But I'm in the process of finding my center, and my husband has been very, very helpful in helping me find that center. Not only his patience, but sometimes his admonishment.
Father Anthony spoke in a couple of his books about the roles faith played in his medical issues and recovery. Any words, any thoughts on if your faith helped you through this?
Absolutely. There's no way without God I could have done this. There's no way. I had to realize that I wasn't in control, and I had to give it to God and ask Him to help me.
And we pray together every morning.
We do. We pray.
Which helps. Well, thank you for your testimony, Lynn.
It was testimony, wasn't it?
Yes, and I'm going to make, I hope.
Self-revelation. There's nothing like it, right?
Yeah, and we got called from the Human Resources in Washington about the opioid crisis, and I'm going to make sure that they see this.
Yeah, my narrative will
This
be on
YouTube.
the White House website. I'm doing a narrative. Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's usual.
No, but my narrative concerning what went on and that takes you through my addiction and getting clean will be on the White House website. I will finish it as I finish my program.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sorry.
God bless you.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.